Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second season of Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. For those who are joining us for the first time, Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants is all about bringing adventure, science, and conservation to classrooms across the world. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by both Mission Control and the Aquarius Underwater Reef Base, the world's only underwater reef base 60 feet beneath the waves. So without further ado, because we've got a short hangout today, I'll turn it over to Carlos, who can give you a brief introduction, and then we'll go down and meet Roy Bartnick in the reef base itself. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, how are you guys today? All right. Good. All right. Hey, how about what if I show you a quick tour of the habitat and then kind of show you some cool stuff about it, and then we can talk about the experiments that are going on, and then you guys can have any questions. Does that sound like an idea?
Sounds good, Roy.
All right. So hang on just a second. What I'm going to do is this is actually our dining room table right here, and this is the view that we get to watch every day. As a matter of fact, there were some sharks swimming around last night. We're all excited. So, but let me take you to one. So hold on a second. I'll flip the camera.
Yeah, guys, as you can see, the connection is a little spotty. We have some 15 to 20 knot winds out there, and that's affecting our connection. So I'm sure Roy will pick up in a few minutes, but he's actually sitting in our galley, which is the kitchen area, and that view that you have is basically all the different fish out in the reef. Aquarius is located in the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary down in Islamorada, Florida. So we're about 60 feet underwater there with Roy. And let's see if we can get him. Roy, are you there?
We have a little refrigerator. Are you there, Carlos?
Yes, I'm here, Roy.
Okay. All right. So we have a little refrigerator here. Okay. And then this is Ivana. She also helps out making sure we're...
Roy, we lost video on you. We can hear you. Do you guys want to take over again for a minute, Mission Control?
Sure. So we here at Mission Control basically just ensure the safety and objectives of the operation. So we're basically just monitoring what's happening with the science team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Excuse me. The Aquanaut team actually went into Aquarius this past Wednesday, and they're going to be there until Tuesday of next week. So they're actually going to be living and working underwater without coming up to the surface. And they do that through a process called saturation diving. Now, Aquarius is the only one of its kind. It's the only lab in the entire world. It is a national treasure. And the cool thing about it is that we do quite a few different things. What we're doing this particular week is we're actually looking at the impacts that sharks have on coral reef ecosystems. So we're
out of the water.
Hold on. Roy, you keep breaking up. Let me go let them know. Did you go tell Liz? Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. So we're looking at the impacts that sharks have on coral reef ecosystems. So essentially what's happening is that sharks are apex predators, and due to overfishing and pollution of the oceans, we're actually losing these precious species, and that is affecting the food chain. So this particular mission, we are actually trying to attract sharks to the underwater lab. And what we're doing is looking at the behavior of the smaller fish, the herbivorous fish, like the parrotfish and the grazers that eat all the algae. So they have had quite a bit of luck. We've had nurse sharks, we've had bull sharks, we've had Caribbean reef sharks actually visit the reef base. So I'm sure the data that we're going to be collecting and the observations that we're going to be making are really going to help these species in the long run. In terms of protecting them for future generations.
Looks like a Viking. All right, we're back.
We're back, Roy. Unfortunately, the group missed the tour, so I'm not sure if you could do that again.
This end and work our way back.
Oh, man.
All right, so this is our wet porch. And as you see, we have our shark expert who's literally just getting out of the water. And we have our fish. So we really our area. Okay, and what's kind of cool is even with our showers, we have this really cool view outside the window of our shower. Okay, this is the wet porch, and where Aldine is.
All right, guys, I'm sorry again. Yes, the connection's not ideal. We do on our website have tours of the shore base. So if you guys want, afterward, we can send Jesse an email and let him know what the link is, and that way you guys can do it in class. It's a 360 view, so all you need is a mouse on your computer, and you can actually tour the reef-based facility, just like Roy's going to be showing you in this connection, hopefully in the next couple of minutes. Unfortunately, this is out of our control. It happens. Normally, we can connect very well with groups, but if the conditions are not ideal outside, then obviously we're at the mercy of the winds and the weather. So you can understand that. The cool thing about Aquarius is that we actually have been able to connect with the International Space Station. We've actually talked to astronauts up there, but again, that's when the link is good. I mentioned how Aquarius is a platform for marine science research, especially regarding what we're doing this week, but we also do train astronauts in Aquarius. This past summer, we actually hosted our 21st mission with NASA. And the cool thing about that is that it's an analog to space research. So any astronaut that is basically going to go to space, to Mars or land on an asteroid, they actually come to Aquarius and train there. We can simulate different gravity fields, different planetary surfaces by changing the buoyancy. Oh, I think Roy's back. Roy, are you back? Yeah, it's not.
Maybe not today. I don't know.
I know. I'm sorry about that, guys.
That's
So
okay.
basically, yeah, we are an analog to space research. We do have astronauts that come and train. Anything that they need to do up in space, they actually practice down underwater in our lab. The dimensions of Aquarius are very similar to the Destiny portion or the American part of the International Space Station. The crew complement in the International Space Station is 6, just like it is in Aquarius. And when you basically commit to going down to Aquarius and living and working underwater, there is no veering from that. So you'd actually compromise the mission if you decide to come up, just like if you were going to space. So there are a lot of similarities that allow us to basically use to train these astronauts for space travel.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like getting down there? How do people get down there in the first place? How do they get materials down to the base in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually pot the materials, and we actually have another member of our team, Kathy, right now. And what we were thinking is if we can screen share. The only thing is, give me 1 second. I don't know if we have any videos here. We could do the Aquarius, the 360 tour. All right, if you give us 1 second, we actually were thinking that it would be a good idea to actually show you guys what the habitat looks like from our website. So if we can screen share with you all, we can actually do that rather quickly.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Eileen.
Okay, cool. So do you know how to do it? All right, I'm going to introduce Kathy. Kathy's part of our education team, and she's going to go ahead and pull it up. Oh, wait, there's Roy again.
Is it working this time? Maybe we don't need to do 360. Maybe Roy
not. Maybe Roy can do it. Come on. Let's see.
The perils of bringing internet from the bottom of the ocean. Hi.
My name's Kathy. I work with Eileen as an education and outreach coordinator. So I guess for the time being, we're just going to get a presentation out just in case. But it does look like we're starting to get Roy coming in and out. So hopefully, let's pray that we get some connection with him. But we're going to get a presentation out just in case.
What I was thinking is just the 360. We don't even have time for the presentation.
Okay.
Just go to Aquarius Interactive.
Or the 360.
Yeah.
Here.
Go to the one.
Thanks for your patience, everyone. Again, should just be about a minute or so. This hasn't happened before. With other Hangouts, occasionally we brought things from Sri Lanka, from Antarctica. Occasionally there's some problems with the connection. Today, bringing it from the bottom of the ocean has been a little bit of trouble with the wind, but hopefully we'll give you a little bit of a tour, and then you guys will still get to do the question and answer period about the mission that they're doing, about the reef base in general, maybe about some of the astronauts that have been down there in the past, okay? So at the end, in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to give each class a chance to ask some of those questions, and you guys can ask whatever you'd like.
Can you guys see the screen yet or no?
No, so there's a little button on the left side. It'll be a green button, says screen share. If you click that, it should bring up whatever you have on your screen.
clicking it.
Worst case scenario too, you guys can tell us a little bit more about the reef base, and we can always share that link with them later so they can look at it themselves.
Sure.
They were asking about potting some stuff down.
Okay, yeah. So how do you guys think we get dry towels and food into Aquarius without it getting wet? Any guesses?
The classes are demiked right now. I can unmute their microphones. They can ask questions if they'd like. Do you want to go to question and answer period and have people ask questions and you guys can try and answer? Lovely. Okay, so we'll do a third mission class. If you guys want to ask any questions for the reef base or mission control, go right ahead. Anything about the research that they're doing? Anything about the reef base itself?
So we do a lot of different types of research at Aquarius, and every mission is different. Right now we're studying the role that sharks play on coral reefs. In the past 50 years, we've lost 90% of the sharks in the oceans, and that has caused dramatic changes. Sharks are the apex predator, so when we lose the sharks, we kind of, it's a trophic cascade. You lose the balance of everything underneath sharks. And looks like I'm seeing Roy.
I hope so.
Are you there? Okay.
So
let's
the
put
waves
Roy
are
on.
really bad. They're knocking off the microwave transmission for the internet.
Okay, how do we get...
You want to try to give us a quick tour, Roy?
I will.
Yeah.
Well, we got a connection.
Let's do it.
Quickly. All right. So this is where we're sitting. This is our kitchen. Okay. And these are the people that keep us alive, Mark and Roxy. Okay. We're working in the back. I'll show you the bunk room in a minute. We just came out of the water, so someone's changing. This is our sonar expert, Ben. And he is working all the sonar plots right now to see if there's any sharks in there.
I want to cry.
All right.
No, I think it cut out again, guys. Okay, well, you know what we'll do? I'll go to Mrs. Grady's class first, see if they have any questions for you guys. Hopefully answer, and we'll go from there. So, Miss Grady's class, you're away. If you have any questions.
What temperature is the water?
This is the view.
It's around 75, 76. We've noticed that the water's actually been getting warmer for longer periods of time, which is not good for the coral. But yeah, it's normally around 76 or so degrees Fahrenheit.
Any more questions for Mrs. Grady's class?
Yeah.
How long have you had the program?
That is a wonderful question. So Aquarius has been in operation since 1987, so way before you were born and before I was born too. And originally when Aquarius was deployed, it was deployed in the Virgin Islands, and then there was a really big hurricane that destroyed the habitat. And then after that, they took the habitat out of the water and brought it to Florida. They brought it to a university, well, they brought it to a place called Harbor Branch. It's a Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, and they did some repairs, and then in 1993, they deployed it down here. And originally when they deployed Aquarius, it had a really big barge, a big platform on the surface of the water, where we actually had a 12-person team that was there all the time. And then in 1997, we were able to update the technology. So we actually took that barge off and created a life support buoy. I'm not sure if you guys have talked about that yet. So the way that we get electricity and air and internet in Aquarius is because there's a really big buoy on the surface, and that buoy has air compressors and generators, and it's basically the life support of the habitat. And so now we don't have to have a team right on top of Aquarius at all times. We can be remote. So we're talking to you guys from the shore base of Aquarius. And this is where we control all our operations. We have a watch desk where basically we can talk to the divers all the time, and keep in touch with the mission, and it helps keep it safe. So yeah, that was a long answer to that question, but
an excellent answer. That's good. We'll go to Mr. Cole's class for a second. If you guys have 2 questions too.
Okay, Symphony. Why not?
All set for that. What happens if you run out of air?
Good question.
Well, we make sure that wouldn't happen. The life support buoy is constantly pumping air into Aquarius, and so you can't really run out of air inside of Aquarius. We do a lot to make sure that would never happen. We do a lot to make sure we would never have problems with those compressors that are bringing the air inside Aquarius. And if we ever did have issues, we would have to evacuate the divers.
Could you tell us how you would evacuate?
Yeah, so Aquarius is basically a pressure chamber underwater, and you can be inside of Aquarius for however long. You can be inside from 7 to even 31 days, and in the future we're actually planning a 100-day mission. There's no limit to how long a person can be underwater at that pressure. The only problem is when you're going back up to the surface, because if you go up to the surface too quickly and without allowing your body to become used to the changing pressure as you're going back up, you can cause what's called decompression sickness, where basically bubbles form in your joints from just going up to the surface too quickly. And so when we want to leave Aquarius, we actually change the pressure inside of the habitat back to what it was at the surface, so that they don't have to worry about the bends, because when they're going up to the surface, their body has already become used to the pressure that's at the surface. And so that process takes 16 hours. They actually lock the chamber. There's 2 main parts of Aquarius. We have the main lock and the entry lock. And the main lock is more where they normally do it. They have the entry lock as an emergency. The entry lock is basically so you have, when you go into Aquarius, you enter through the wet porch, and then you go into the into the entry lock. The entry lock has a little science lab, a little place to put your computer. So when we saw Ben earlier with the sonar, he was actually in the entry lock. And Roy, right now, he is inside the main lock. So we have those 2 separate parts. In case something was ever wrong with one side, we could have them do the recompression on the other side. So we always have redundant systems to make sure that everything is safe.
Excellent. Okay, one more question from Mr. Cole's class.
What would happen if...
I'm having trouble hearing you. Get a little closer to the mic, maybe.
Speak up.
What would happen if any of your, thing gets attacked by a shark?
Well, that's a really good question, and normally that has never ever happened. And I'll tell you, how many people, or very few people, get attacked by sharks. And normally when people are attacked by sharks, it's because they were doing something to provoke that attack. If you're pulling on the shark, a lot of times people will think sharks are a lot of times people won't respect sharks, and then they'll kind of abuse them, try to ride a shark, and you can get bit doing that, because that's not, you have to accept that a shark is a very powerful animal. But they're very docile though. Only 5 people die of a shark attack every year, which might seem like a lot, but it's not. You have a much higher chance of getting killed by a falling coconut than you do to get killed by a shark. And so if there ever was a case where somebody was bit by a shark, we would respond to that quickly and do an evacuation and all of that. But that would never happen, because when we're looking at sharks, we're not going to provoke them in any way. Most of the time when you dive with sharks, they see you and they swim away. So we want to make sure we can keep them there as long as possible. So we make sure not to provoke anything like that.
So if anything, they're keeping the sharks around as long as humanly possible to study them. So again,
exactly.
not just coconuts, vending machines, lightning, many things do. Selfies actually caused more injuries last year than sharks by a huge margin. So
exactly.
All right, so we'll go to Mrs. Hoole's class. I don't know if you guys have any questions now, but you're welcome to ask some.
How deep underwater do you go?
So that's a good question. Aquarius is in 60 feet of water, and the true benefit is that it allows you to dive depths of up to 95, 100 feet. And so a lot of times when you're diving most of the time when you have a mission going on, you're not inside of Aquarius, you're diving outside of Aquarius. And the way that we prevent our divers from getting lost is that they actually follow line highways. And when you feel the little rope, it has a little arrow on it, leading you back to where the habitat is. Because a lot of times you'll dive very far from where Aquarius is, and if the visibility is not good, you might lose the view of Aquarius altogether. And so you follow those line highways in order to prevent anyone from getting lost going up to 95, 100 feet.
Excellent.
But the benefit is that you can be at those depths for a very long period of time. Normally, if you're a marine biologist, you have an hour at your study site, maybe even less. And so the benefit of Aquarius is that you can be at that depth for 6 to 9 hours. So it allows for more productive research, a lot more time down there.
Excellent. Now, Roy, are you back for a second? You hope so? Okay, so don't move. We're going to see if Mrs. Hulstas can ask one question to you, okay?
Go ahead, Garner. Come on up.
Has the hurricane affected you guys?
Well, our internet connection's not that good. It causes wind, but the hurricane, it didn't really go over here when it was a hurricane. When it came over the Florida Keys, it wasn't a hurricane yet, so it wasn't very strong, but it did cause some wind and some weather issues. We actually had to postpone the mission because of weather issues, so kind of, yeah.
All right, so we'll go through all three classes one more time for one quick question, and then we'll wrap up before the next one at 11. So, Mr. Cole's class, go right ahead.
Laura? Laura?
How do you get up from Aquarius? Like down from Aquarius?
Good. So how do you get inside of Aquarius? That's a good question. Basically, I want you to imagine a cup that is face down underwater. You know how when you have a cup and you put it down, face down underwater, it keeps the air inside? That's basically how Aquarius works. We're pumping air into it, and so you actually enter Aquarius from the bottom. If you open the door to Aquarius, if there was a door, you would let water in. So we always go from the bottom up. There's an entrance called the moon pool, and it's pretty cool. You jump from inside of Aquarius into a pool that leads you to the ocean, and then you go in to Aquarius through that moon pool.
Excellent. All right. So let's see if Roy can possibly answer one.
Maybe you can show it to us. Roy. No. Okay. Well, we do our best, but sometimes the weather doesn't always cooperate with us. Maybe we can have some more questions while we're hopefully getting a connection.
We've got about time for one more. So, Ms. Rules class, if you guys want to ask your last question.
I hear you. I see someone.
Can you guys try one more time, Ms. Rules class?
I can't hear you.
Nope. Okay, well, guys, if we have no more questions then, what we always do at the end is give the kids a chance to say thank you to the reef.
I see people raising their hands, but I can't hear them.
Nope.
No one's talking.
Nope. So what we'll do, if you guys want to give a big thank you to the Reef Basin Mission Control, go right ahead.
I don't know.
Oh, is my voice off?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't hear you for some reason. So I guess to wrap up, what I really want you guys to remember from this Skype session is that the ocean is very important to all of us. No matter where you guys live, no matter if you get to see the ocean every day, we all need the ocean. The ocean is what regulates the climate and the weather. The ocean is what provides us with a lot of our food. We really rely on the ocean, and so we need to learn everything we can about it, and that's really what we want to do at Aquarius. We want to be able to to be in the ocean so that we can learn more about what lives there. It's kind of like the opposite of going in. It's like you're in the fishbowl when you're in Aquarius. The fish are looking at you. It's really a unique experience to look out of a window and see fish. And I hope some of you guys get the opportunity one day to look out a window and see fish, because it's a beautiful experience.
Okay, perfect. People can hear me again. I'm back in. All right. So we'll give the kids a chance to say goodbye. If you guys want to say thank you to the researchers, go right ahead. All right. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Hopefully we can get you exploring by the seat of your pants again soon. Thank you so much to Aquarius Reef Base and Mission Control for taking over the entire hangout. Awesome, guys. Sorry for the bad connection, but thanks so much for joining us. All right. Bye, guys. Have a nice day at school.
Bye.